Hi, my name is Flo van den Broek. I'm a policy researcher at Focal Europe. And my colleague Ebubekir ISIK and I are today joined by Abdurrahman Bilgic, who is the founding member and vice president of the Democracy and Progress Party in Turkey, DEVA. And before starting his career in national politics, Mr. Bilgic served not only as an ambassador of Turkey in Libya, Australia, Japan, and the UK, but he was also the deputy undersecretary at the Turkish Prime Ministry. And with these experiences and now being the head of foreign affairs and security policies of the DEVA Party, he will share with us today his insights on current diplomatic and security challenges, EU-Turkey relations, and the Erdogan administration. And last but not least, he will also tell us more about the goals and intentions of the DEVA Party. So, Mr. Bilgic, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Let me begin with asking you something personal, if I may. Could you maybe share with us how you got involved in Ali Babachan's new party initiative, and what drew you to become one of the founding members and vice president of DEVA?
Well, I was invited to working groups on various topics. I observed hard work, honesty, and righteousness there. All views, papers have been discussed passionately, thoroughly, analyzed meticulously, and in a constructive manner. I met with humble, trustworthy representatives of younger generation. I should say that, however, what attracted me more are core values and guiding principles of Democracy and Progress Party, DEVA, such as emphasis on individuals, human rights, liberties, freedom of expression and media, social justice, rule of law, checks and balances like that. Non-discrimination, non-alienation, etc. Therefore, I'm humbled to be a founding member of DEVA, the remedy. It means remedy.
So when reading the 132-page party program, one could indeed, as you said, acknowledge that DEVA Party is a liberal, democratic, and pro-Western political party, which puts a lot of emphasis on the restoration of fundamental rights and freedoms, which according to various EU documents have suffered a massive setback in recent years under Erdogan's administration. So accordingly, could you share with our European audience your take on what DEVA offers within the current spectrum of political parties in Turkey that does not already exist? And what sort of electorate are you seeking to attract? What kind of people are engaged in DEVA Party's management? And more importantly, what are your main objections to the Erdogan administration in internal politics?
Well, we want to refresh people's trust to the mainstream politics in Turkey. We strongly oppose the toxifying, contentious politics, mainly shaped by ultra-nationalist, isolationist, and populist discourse. We refuse identity politics in ethnic, sectarian, and ideological terms. As Democracy and Progress Party, we differ greatly from other parties by our cadre and policies. Our founding members include former ministers, bureaucrats, business people, academicians, entrepreneurs, lawyers, students who are among the best in their professions. Additionally, we offer a picture of Turkey in which everyone enjoys prosperity, rule of law, and freedom at its highest level for all people, regardless of ethnicity, language, religion, sex, gender, political or social affiliation.
Mr. Bilgic, on the foreign policy front, your party calls for stronger ties with NATO, the EU, United States, and as far as we understand, it commits itself for resolving the differences with Turkey's allies in diplomatic ways. However, The current diplomatic and security challenges facing Turkey, I think, are extremely rough to make any move that would not harm Turkey's allies and partners, let alone improving relations with its traditional allies. I think this is to say that despite a number of success in foreign fields, Erdogan administration is currently increasingly alone. More precisely, the US recently slapped on the sanctions. EU is literally losing its patience, referring to EU Council decisions in December 2020. Relations with Russia and Iran are not rosy at all. And many pundits here and there think that Ankara should not, count on Qatar for a long time. If I may ask you, under these difficult circumstances, what would be the recipe of DEVA Party to put Turkey back on track with the support of its Western allies?
Let me start quoting Antonio Gramsci. He said, when describing the world of 1930s, he said, "The old is dying and the new cannot be born. In this interregnum, a great variety of morbid symptoms appear." In this century, we got stuck into another limbo between the dying old and the anticipated new. The global COVID-19 pandemic simultaneously strengthening and weakening our commitment to all isms at the same time, as the world system becomes multipolar, seemingly to be the primary driver of a dystopic prelude to the new. Coronavirus made us all understand that how our actual institutional capacity is very fragile at the global, national, and sub-state levels. And we have created such a vulnerable world order in which huge inequality, poverty, instability, alienation, displacement, and ecological collapses thriving. There is a great need for a genuinely democratic and progressive alternative, both for the globe and Turkey. The global pandemic crisis has shown that international cooperation is of the utmost importance for all countries, but especially for countries that embrace democratic and liberal principles. International cooperation needs mutual trust and enthusiasm. It has been observed for a while that Turkey and its Western allies and partners have failed to build trust. It is now the necessity for both sides to have confidence with each other and to tackle global and regional crises together. As Democracy and Progress Party, we are ready to play our role in this task. Serious structural problems have hit Turkish foreign policy in recent years, badly eroding its crisis management and problem-solving capacities. Abrupt about turns on key matters of national interest have become alarmingly frequent, particularly in the last 2 years, starting with the new system of the so-called Turkish-style executive presidency, showing that Turkey's foreign policy has fallen into the trap of short-termism and become increasingly unpredictable. Amid frequent about turns and the cacophony of messages, foreign policy in Turkey today is a realm of inconsistency and confusion. The decision-making process is often devoid of comprehensive consultations and transparency, leading to uncertainty, arbitrariness, and unpredictability in foreign policy decisions. Turkey has lost thus its once close allies.
Mr. Bilgic, since you refer to structural problems of Turkish politics, as a former Turkish ambassador to the UK, what is your take on the concerns, particularly here in our town in Brussels, that the massive, or in other words, the draconian reshuffle by Erdogan administration in many, I would say, key state institutions following the coup attempt in 2016, including Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Turkish Armed Forces, has paved the way for Turkey to pursue a kind of foreign and security policy that is more in line with Russian and Chinese interests at the expense of Turkey's ties with NATO, the EU, and United States. Let's say this is true. What can be done to undo this detrimental shift under a DEVA Party government in Turkey?
Well, frankly speaking, first of all, I would like to emphasize that after the coup attempt, lack of solidarity with the Turkish government and democratic institutions, this led to a trauma in Turkish society and nurtured an atmosphere of distrust towards Europe. Therefore, minds and hearts in Turkey should be won by Europe. This is important. With regards to what can be done to undo detrimental shift you mentioned, DEVA Party aims to see Turkey establish a constructive and balanced dialogue with all its allies, neighbors, and adjacent countries on the basis of the principle of non-intervention in internal affairs. We believe that the security that NATO provides is critically important to Turkey's national security. Therefore, we aim to strengthen the transatlantic alliance. We encourage NATO to continue to reassess changing threat conditions and geography. Within this context, we will advocate for NATO to increase its capabilities in combating terrorism, preventing the spread of weapons of mass destruction, cybersecurity, and combating information wars, which are among the leading threats to our country. In parallel to the contribution Turkey has made to the security of NATO countries, our priority will be to ensure that NATO countries show unconditional solidarity against the threats that Turkey encounters. We will enter into a new dialogue with the United States regarding the causes that have led to the disruption of our strategic alliance and work to eliminate regional issues and differences.
Mr. Bilgic, given your experience as a Deputy Undersecretary at the Turkish Prime Ministry between 2011 and 2014, dealing mainly with issues related to foreign affairs, what is your evaluation of the current EU-Turkey relations, which have reached historic lows for a number of serious reasons? And how would DEVA improve ties with the European Union under the current circumstances, supposing you win the first upcoming elections in Turkey?
Yeah. We believe that Turkey's membership in the European Union is a goal of historic and significant importance. The realization of this goal is vital for both our country and the geography we live in. Therefore, Turkey's EU membership is an indispensable medium for us and will continue to be a long-term goal. In the short term, we aim to modernize, to upgrade the customs union by expanding its scope as well as improving cooperation in the fields of migration policy, innovation, the fight against terrorism, and defense and security. In battling the fight against racism, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and anti-Semitism, we will improve coordination with the EU and political, civilian, and cultural actors in the EU countries.
Mr. Bilgic, last but not certainly least, considering the current realities of the EU-Turkey relations for both sides, what would be not only the ideal, but also the most realistic type of relationship that EU and Turkey should invest in, considering that the Turkey is no longer perceived as a negotiating country, unfortunately, even among the relevant bureaucrats here in Brussels that I come across many times. What would be your take on that?
Well, when we come to power, things will change. I should say that this first. We are aware of ideas like privileged partnership or giving a special status to Turkey, which will fall short of full membership that Turkey aspires. The realistic type of relationship at this stage is to start the modernization process of customs union and visa liberalization and focus on how to tackle migration crisis. Then you will observe a positive climate change in our relations. Although full membership is a long-term goal for Turkey, in the end, it will take two for a tango. What is more important for us is acquiring higher democratic and stronger economic standards for our own people. We should not get stuck to the fights of the past. Instead, we should exert our energy for a better world, stronger Europe and Turkey, to which Turkey wishes and can contribute a lot. Before concluding my remarks, I wish a happy new year to you. May the new year bring a new impetus to works for a better Turkish-EU relations and for a happier and more prosperous world.
Mr. Bilgic, thank you so much for dedicating your time and also for this insightful exchange. We as Vocal Europe would be delighted to hosting you and Mr. Babacan at our Brussels office during one of our panels, conferences, once the COVID-19 is fully behind us. But we do really appreciate your effort and time.